Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. I'm really happy to be doing these videos. I've been really having a good time doing them and sharing some of my experiences about different aspects of health and wellness. So I was thinking this morning. You guys know that I've been talking about like nutrition and exercise, written journaling and inventory. I say journaling, but I really do inventory, which is from the 12 steps, as well as spiritual practices like prayer and meditation. But I thought about it this morning, and I was thinking about doing inventory, and thought I might relay a story of when I sort of realized the power of a written process. I thought I might tell you guys about this. So when I was newly sober, this is probably maybe about 10 years ago or something like that. I was living in a sober house, and I was under certain rules and restrictions at that sober house, and I really wanted to continue playing in a community band. I play the French horn, wanted to keep playing in this band. I wanted to get back to it, but in order to do that, I would have to come home after curfew at the sober house. And I also had to I would also have to kind of be an exception to the rule around being on restriction at the time. I was at a certain level in the sober house, and I hadn't done the amount of step work yet that was required to kind of get off of restriction. So I had asked the house manager if it was okay if I started playing in this band, and he basically said no, because that was the rules of the sober house. And I remember I was so pissed off. And I was working my recovery program. I was writing a fourth step, which is kind of a large inventory of all past resentments. And I remember I realized, I was like, okay, they keep telling me that I'm going to be writing inventory when I get pissed off in the 10th step. So I decided that I was going to do it, even though I wasn't quite to that step yet. I decided I was angry, and I was feeling really distracted by my anger around the situation. So I was like, okay, I'm going to see if this works or not. You know what I mean? So I sat down and I wrote what we call 10-step inventory, which is similar to the fourth step. And what that does is it really just says to identify, the person or the place or the situation or the principle that we're angry at. And then what you do is you write out how, hey Glenn, you write out why you're angry. So what the person did that made you angry. And then you write out how it affected you. And then the very last thing that you do is you kind of turn it around back on yourself, and you ask yourself 4 questions, which is, where am I selfish? Where am I dishonest? Where am I self-seeking? And where am I afraid? And I remember really clearly that as I wrote this inventory, I got down, I don't even remember, I think it was I got to the dishonest part. So I had, what was it that I was angry at? But now I'm looking at my part in this. What is on my side of the street? What is that? So I'll never forget. I started writing out like where I was dishonest, and like the truth of the matter was this, that I wanted to be an exception to the rule. I was expecting them to make an exception for me because I was some like special or something like that. And I'll never forget when I started to see that, when I writing this out, like all this anger that was like wrapped up and tied up inside my body, like just completely dissipated. And like I felt this peace that I felt this peace that I had like never felt before. And it was just out of the pure realization of truth, of seeing myself clearly, that's what I do at times in life. When something doesn't go my way, I get pissed off. You know what I mean? And that I expect the world to kind of adjust to me, to suit me. And like, I just had all these realizations flow in. And so it was really the first time that I was like, wow, this written process is really amazing. So I just wanted to share that story because, I think I'm certainly going to be doing more of this in my Facebook group, which is wellnessseekerscommunity.com. If you go there, you can join the group and check it out. I'm going to get probably at some point into more detail about this, wellnessseekerscommunity.com. But whether or not you do inventory, like out of the 12 steps, or you do journaling, or you don't do anything, I think the core principle here is that whatever you do, the thing about writing, which is really great, is that it slows your mind down, and it really helps you. So as you're writing, that's slower than what your mind does if you're just thinking about something. So when I'm pissed off and I'm thinking about something, my brain I can't wrap my head around it. But when I start writing, it slows me down, and I start to have a much clearer picture of what's going on. So even if you go out and find any kind of journaling practice, it's going to benefit you, whether or not it's inventory, it's going to benefit you just from helping you to slow down and helping you to self-reflect on a deeper level. And then if you are doing something different than like the 12 steps and journaling, 12 steps in inventory, like you find a good way to journal, be sure that when you're doing it, that you're not only pointing the finger at the world outside of you, but reflecting on your own experience to the world around you. Because I'm really good at pointing the finger and blaming everybody else and blaming people, places, and things for my issues. I'm not very good at saying what is going on with me internally that's causing me to be upset. Because ultimately, and when I do that, I find out that like almost every time that I'm disturbed inside, that's largely because of my own the way that I'm thinking about it, the way that I'm behaving around the situation. And so inventory really taught me that. And I think if you're out there and you're journaling or something like that, be sure to that it's a self-reflective process, more so than just pointing the finger and saying these are the things that are affecting me on the outside, if that makes sense. So anyway, if you have any questions about that, feel free to drop a comment, send me a message. Again, if you want to check out the Facebook group, it's wellnessseekerscommunity.com. We've got 7 members in there. One of them's me, or 2 of them are me. One's my mom. No, yeah, one's me. One's my mom. One's my wife, and a couple of other people. But we've already been having some really good conversations in there, and I'm really excited about it. So anyway, have a good rest of your morning, and be well.